Range here again. Thanks for joining us today. Today we have Corey, who's a chef here at Clouds Montville. Corey, we're obviously here in this beautiful garden that you have on site. Can you tell us a little bit about the sorts of foods that are in season at the moment?
So at the moment in my personal garden, I've got snow peas by the bundle. So we're going to do something with snow peas today. But in my other gardens, I've got silver beet, I've got spinach, I've got lots of radish in season at the moment. But with the hinterland frost, we've struggled a lot with just frost, and it's taken most of my season away. But coming into spring, we're slowly getting it back. I just need to boost it. But we're getting there.
Great.
We've got these beautiful snow peas. With this volcanic soil, they just seem to boost a lot bigger than your store-bought ones. Crazy.
And are you going to use those snow peas today in a dish?
Yeah, so we're going to do a shiitake mushroom, a ham, and snow pea risotto.
Sounds delicious. All right, we'll see you in the kitchen.
Alrighty, so now that we're back in the kitchen, I've gone and picked all this beautiful produce. I've decided we're going to do a chorizo, snow pea, and shiitake mushroom risotto. Here I've got 1 cup of arborio rice. I've got 150 ml of the Clouds Chardonnay. I've got 1 chorizo chopped like dice. Now you can use ham, you could use chicken. You don't even have to put meat in it at all. You could substitute it for pumpkin. It's up to you. I've got some snow peas that we picked earlier, and a few little cherry tomatoes that we picked out of the garden. I've got some thyme just to flavour the rice, and some spring onion as base flavour. Then we're going to finish it with a little bit of nut butter. So let's get started on the stove. Also, I've got here 500 ml of chicken stock, and that's just plain powdered chicken stock. You can buy the salt reduced chicken stock in a packet. It's completely up to you how you like to use the stock. And I think that's it. We're going to start cooking on the stove. Alright, now we're on the stove. We're going to start with just a little bit of olive oil in the pan. First off, we better turn it on. Now you only want low to medium heat for this. To start off with, we're toasting the rice. So I'm going to heat the oil up a little bit. And toasting the rice, that just helps us keep the rice whole while we're absorbing the stock. If you miss this process, there's a slight chance that you might make it too soggy. If not, so this will take about 2, maybe 3 minutes. What we're trying to do is see the little individual grains of rice. Once they start going transparent, then we're pretty much ready. So if you look at it, you can still see little white bits. So those bits need to just basically go translucent. So at this stage where it starts to heat up, I'm going to add some spring onion, add the thyme. We'll mix that through a little bit. This popping sound is a great sound to tell you that the rice is almost ready. So now I'm going to add the white wine. You don't have to add the white wine. So you just want to reduce that so the rice absorbs it. Give it about 20 seconds. Make sure it's nice and done. We just add one ladle at a time of stock. You don't want to stir it too much, but you also need to stir it enough to make sure it doesn't stick. The more you stir it, the more starch that releases out of the rice, and the more the rice breaks down. The way I tell the rice is ready for another piece, another ladle of stock, is I'll move the rice and I'll see that it's all dry. And that's an indication that it needs more. Again, you can't add too much too fast. When you add too much too fast, it shocks the rice and the rice will overcook. Just a patient waiting game with this. But that's what makes it so good. It's the love and the hard work that you put into it. I reckon the tastier it is. So I'll do my little test to make sure it's dry. So this amount will only take 4 ladles, which is 500 ml of stock. This will be enough for 2 serves, depending on how big of an eater you are. I added a little bit too much then, so it's taking a little bit longer to reduce, but that's okay, it will still work. Risotto has to be one of my favourite dishes to make. One, because you can utilise this rice for any flavour that you like. My favourite one is a spinach, pumpkin and feta topped with pine nut risotto. It's a vegetarian one. Same process, you just add pumpkin and spinach. It's looking nice and dry. Let that cook out a little bit, and then I add my last ladle of stock. sound also indicates that it's going dry, so you need to add more. It's a lovely time process. It takes time, but it's a good end result. So a traditional recipe will probably tell you to do it in a pot. I was taught a little bit different. My culinary teacher taught me to do it in a frying pan. A bit like the paella dish. The only difference is the paella, you don't touch it. You just let it sit there and cook. You can't stir it. So we do a little tester, and you can either eat it or you can push it between your fingers. There's a little bit more to go, so I'm going to add the remaining of my stock. This probably would be a ladle. So I'm just going to move this to the back. I'll show you the next step. I'm just going to very slightly fry off the chorizo and the peas. Now the chorizo is already cooked, so it doesn't need much cooking. You just want to release as much of that yummy flavour as you can. So you can cook your peas if you wanted to, but because these are fresh out of the garden, I'm not going to cook them this time. I like them crunchy, a little bit fresh. And if you were to cook them, you would just very slightly blanch them, and then you just drop them into boiling water for a minute. The frying off of it will cook it enough for my liking. So that's all you pretty much need. You just want a little bit of flavour. Bring the risotto back. So that's looking pretty good there. For the last final one, I'm going to add 2 knobs of butter. This just helps it become nice and creamy. There we go, that's the consistency we need. It's as simple as just mix this in now. And there we go, it's time for plate up. Alright, so now we're going to plate up. It's a very simple plate up. So for 2 people, you would just simply halve it. For this one, I'll just put it all in so you just get the idea. I think that might be enough. So I'm just going to top it off with a little bit of shaved Parmesan and a little bit of fresh spring onion from our garden. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my cooking video.